What's going on? It's your boy, Brother L, and I'm back with another one. And real quick, I don't ask for much. I just ask for your support. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. I do read the comments, okay? And turn on your post notifications after you subscribe so that you can know where the latest content is out. And you don't want to miss that reply, because I read comments, I reply. So go ahead, let's have a conversation. And that's what that's all Charlie Kirk did, was have a conversation. All right. Now, I see a lot of complaints from people on the left, from Democrats, whatever you want to call yourself, because I know a lot of people on that side hate labels, right? So whatever you want to call yourself, basically the people that subscribe to a certain way of life that doesn't align to the ideals that Charlie Kirk had, right? And you know, I hear a lot of complaints on the left about what he said. All right, and I look into what they claim he said, and a lot of times those claims aren't true, right? Or they're stretched, or they're 2-second clips of a 2-hour long debate, right? So a lot of times that can be taken out of context. But even so, let's go with what they claim he said was true, right? Notice these are things that he said, or they claim that he spread hate. That's what the shooter believed, that he spread hate, right? But there's a difference between even speaking something and actually acting out on that hate, actually killing over that hate, right? Now, they claim that he was speaking hate. They claim that he said words of hate. And even if that's true, I would rather have somebody speaking hate against me than actually trying to gun me down in hatred against me. Now, many of the claims, well, every one of the claims that I've looked at that he said hasn't been true. They've been taken out of context. There's all types of things. And even so, he really didn't talk about race as much as people are putting it out there. Now, I get it. It only takes one time to say something hateful to turn you the wrong way. But when you look into it and you do the actual research, and you find out that what people claiming that he said is not actually what he said, all right? And I can get into details about it, but I'm not going to really do that here because there's so much lies about what he said. But all you have to do is watch these debates, listen to these things, and he's going to tell you a lot of the same things that your grandmom probably told you. A lot of the same things that he's speaking that your grandfather probably told you, or the way how your mother raised you up in church or something. When you actually listen to what he said, he's saying a lot of the things that the people who hate him actually even say if they were brought up in a conservative Christian neighborhood, family or lifestyle. And a lot of black people were brought up in traditional conservative Christian families. All right, somewhere along the way we lost our way, and I would like to ask, who can hold black people accountable? Who can hold black people accountable? Because when we had somebody like a Kevin Samuels, right, and he passed away with an untimely demise, people celebrated that too. Black people celebrate that too. Okay, namely Vivica A. Fox. All right, so we can't have a black person hold us accountable because he's being labeled as an Uncle Tom, or they celebrate his death too. We can't have a black man do it. When black women hold black people accountable, they call them pick-me's. You're just trying to cater to men to try to get them. So we can't have a black man hold us accountable. We can't have a black woman hold us accountable. If not them, then who? You know, that's all Charlie Kirk did. He said that, hey, there's a problem with not having two parents in the household in the black community. Now, we ourselves have been screaming this every Father's Day, especially if you went to church back in the 90s, the 2000s. Every single Father's Day, has been, what was the sermon? It was about, guys, we got to step it up. We got to be fathers, take care of your kids, right? That was the sermon in church every Father's Day coming up. It was beating the fathers down so much that now it's like, now the churches are numb to it and don't even really say that much on that no more. But, and maybe some still do, but that was always the sermon I remember was, guys, you got to step it up. You got to be fathers. You got to be involved in your child's life. All right? But it's like nowadays, when you say that nowadays, it's like you're racist if you say that. So my question is, who can hold the black community accountable? Who can hold the left accountable? I mean, what, are they perfect? Do they do no wrong? I mean, do they not do anything wrong? So all it is it was somebody holding communities accountable, holding the United States accountable. Even with Christians, he would say like, look, we shouldn't be drinking after these events and all of that. You know, he held Christians accountable. He all he did was hold people accountable. So I asked, who can hold someone accountable? Because if you're white and you hold black people accountable, then you're racist. If you're a black man and you hold black people accountable, you're Uncle Tom, you're a sellout, you're a coon. If you're a black woman and you hold black people accountable, you're a pick-me. So, I mean, I want to know, comment, who can hold black people accountable? And is there anything that black people do that is wrong? And I get the whataboutism, you know, but that's just another code. Well, what about white people? Okay. And that's why I say, who can hold the left accountable? Because it's like, if you're on the left, it's like that's a problem or something, you know? So I think this nation has a really huge problem with accountability. And also discernment is a really big part of that too. And I pray for discernment amongst my Christian community, because it's sad. It's really, really, really sad when you have a fellow Christian who most of his talks were about Christianity. A lot of people don't know that, but a lot of his talking was about Christianity. And instead of that, we just gloss right over that and we just point to the parts where he's like, huh, he said black people actually had to be qualified to get the job? Racist. How was that racist? When you want the person to actually be qualified and have the skill and the training and the education and the knowledge and the wherewithal to do the job, based off of just getting the job because we had to have 50%, 60%, whatever percent, at least minimum of 50% black. So help me to understand where you're coming from if you believe that he was a racist and all that, because I mean, I want to know the clips. Okay, I don't want to hear what somebody said about him being a racist. I want to actually see the clip, see the link or whatever, because, or even if you make the claim, like, I just go straight to my AI, and even with the AI, a lot of these AIs are ruled by or programmed by liberal tech guys, so you have to challenge the AI too. And I actually did this, and I challenged it as far as his claims about saying that black women had no brain power. He never said. I actually said that, and notice even now, the AI doesn't say. At first it said yes, he said it, and then I was like, no, he didn't actually say that, because I researched it after I got that from the AI. He didn't actually say it. He said something about 2 women who happened to be black, because that was the racist policy that these elite black women came to Biden about and said, we're going to have this whole entire black community and the black women in this country, because we know that we're the only demographic that votes about over 90% plus a clip for the candidate. So they said that we're going to turn the black women to vote against you if you do not select a black female candidate. They was going to label him as a racist and all of this, that, and other. And his campaign was going to be torpedoed if he did not pick a black woman as a VP candidate and a black woman as a Supreme Court justice. Even though that's that's besides the point. But it's to the point that he was not talking about all black women. He was just talking about the VP candidate and the Supreme Court candidate. So that's just another example of something taken out of context and everything. And then it's just the crazy justifications of saying, oh, he said this, he said that. Okay, but he didn't harm anyone. Words don't harm people. People harm people. Okay, and his words were not violent. He did not preach violence. He met with the most staunchest of opposition that hated his guts, and he would debate them and talk with them and have a conversation. One mic, one speaker, and then with his mic and him speaking, and that's all that he did. And they hated him for it and killed him for it, and then they celebrated it. And then they want to tell us that they're the ones with the moral high ground, and they're the ones who are protecting democracy from tyranny and all of that. So go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Have a blessed one. God bless. Y'all be safe. Non-violence, y'all. Non-violence.